I have a lot of projects going on this week, so I figure I'd take you guys along and show you what it's like behind the scene. This week, I'm working on a project for a contest. I'm thinking of making a lemon meringue pie inspired crossbody bag. Now that project will be published before this vlog will be out, but it still be fun to see behind the scene. So come along with me today and work through all the fun this week. I could have just went the easier route. I forgot to buy zipper pull. I always start all my projects with a project bin. A lot of time projects need a lot of items that I do not have, and when I purchase them, they come, I put it in the project bin, and when I ready to work on the projects, they will be in here. For this bag, I already kind of drafted what I envision the bag to be. I also already make the pattern templates. Now for this one, the color is mostly white and yellow. I bought two different white color fabric because I want to do something special with it. So for the pearl whites, that will be where the meringue will be. And then for the vanilla ice, I want to use it as the crust of the pie. On top of that, I also bought a lot of hardware. I couldn't decide if I want the zipper part, the top right here, to be yellow or white. So I just bought both. I am thinking of going with yellow. I also bought these Chicago screws to see if it could add a nice accents to the back straps. And I also bought back feet for the bottom of the bag. We're gonna go all out for this project, you guys. And then yesterday, in addition to all that, I also did a quick test to see how I want to make the pie crust. Now, the best part of a pie is the pie crust, but I have never made or sold a pie crust. So I tried out 3 different methods, and I'm thinking about this method. Kind of look like how you fold a pie edge. I need to perfect my folding a lot better. Which one of these do you think mostly resemble a pie crust? Now I wish I have you guys here to kind of tell me which one. I also tested out different Mod Podge texture to see which one give it a reflective shine, because you know a lemon meringue, the lemon part is kind of nice and shiny. So I was just testing out different Mod Podge. So you see this one was made with a sealer, the Mod Podge sealer. So it has a little shine to it. Although I'm still debating whether I want to add that to the pie or not. I am in my laundry room because I dyed some fabric last night and I dried it this morning. I want to see if it's ready. Let me show you. This is the vanilla ice fabric that I had dyed with coffee last night to give it that nice little bit of tint so that it looked kind of like the pie crust color. Now it's still a little wet, so I'm going to put it back and set it to dry again. I wish it was more uneven because in a pie crust, it's not always even, but I can't figure out how to dye with coffee unevenly. So I'm just going to leave it as is. This will be for the final bag. I also dye the zipper and the rickrack because I thought I would be using the rickrack to make the pie crust. But as it turns out, I don't think I'll be using it. Now for the zipper, I kind of dyed to see what it looks like. And if you can see the coffee, this is coffee stain. This is the tea stain. Now with the tea stain, I don't know if you can see it through the camera, but it has a lightly red undertone. Versus the coffee stain, it's more of a brown undertone, so it looked more like the crust. And it'll kind of look nice, a little bit burned, right? I really love it. I don't know. I'm still debating whether to use a yellow zipper or one of these as the zipper. Before I get into testing out the pattern I designed, I'm going to upload my vlog as well as transfer all my footage that I've been recording for the last 3 days into my computers. These are administrative work that is very boring, so I see you after I finish. I just finished doing all the administrative tasks I need to do for today. So now it's time to sew the tester. But first, I did went and grab the fabric we try. See how it's just a lightly tint color? For comparison, this is the original color of the fabric, and this is what it looked like after it dyed with coffee. There's not much of a difference, just a tint of stain. Now, if you're wondering, why don't I just buy natural cotton canvas? I have to say, I was wondering the same, because after you dry it, it kind of looked like natural canvas color. I actually have a natural canvas color, so let me compare it. You know what? There's not really that much of a difference, I would say. I could have just went the easier route and just buy natural canvas. Here's a close-up view of the natural canvas and the dye one. Since we're testing this, I'm gonna make the inside this color and the outside per white. The front and back panels are 9-inch circles, like a 9-inch pie. For the back of the bag, I'm thinking about doing a pie chart to kind of just play on with the word pie. And that's why these pieces are made. And the pie chart will be representative of the different proportions of the crust, filling, and the meringue. Now, are you a 50-50 filling and meringue? Are you a 30-30 for every single component? For my version, I decided to do 1 part pie crust, 2 part filling, and 3 part meringue. I went with a yellow color for the interior slip pocket as well as back handle. I added Pellon A09 interfacing to the straps and handle, though I later learned this was not thick enough after making it. As with any interfacing, I always iron on the side of the fabric, because I did this one time where I melted interfacing to my iron. So since then, I never did that again. I used the same interfacing for the front, back, and all the other panels. One thing I struggled with was keeping my stitches straight when sewing the strap, so I ended up seam ripping a few sections. I am very glad that we are making the sample today, because I realized that I forgot to buy zipper pull that matches this collar. So the only antique brass collar zipper pull I have is this B one, which doesn't really match the theme, but for the sample, I guess we are working with this one. I didn't finish sewing the tester yesterday. Got really tired. I saw a majority of all the panels. The only panels that kind of got me stuck was the one where I need to make the meringue. I thought I have it, but I don't think I know how to make a meringue out of fabric. Yesterday, while making the tester, I realized that I did not have an antique brass zipper pull beside the little B I have. So I went straight to Amazon, did a quick order, and guess what? It's arrived today. So the zipper pull I ordered on Amazon, this is not sponsored, is this one. I thought it kind of mimicked the back circle shapes. So I went ahead and bought these, and they came this morning. Shocking. So I can then continue my projects and get it right. All right. The new circle zipper pull is now attached. Another thing I didn't really like is that yesterday I was making this pie chart, and I didn't really like how the meringue section is similar to the other part, which is representing the pie crust. So for this sample, I'm thinking about making this part brown or the natural color canvas just to have it stand out a little more. For the exterior panel where the meringue will go, I was thinking about adding a slice of natural color canvas like this part right here so that it kind of represents a missing slice of pie. I made this pie chart guide to help me cut out the slice, and it's been really helpful. I've been using it a lot. I could decide whether I want 1 slice, 2 slices, or 3 slices. I added the pie slice. Now it looks a lot better. You could tell the different sections. And then I was thinking of maybe handwriting like crust, meringue, filling here so it's look more obvious. But so far, I'm just gonna leave it alone for now. For the meringue part, I was debating of what to do. One good note is that after some research, I think I have an idea of what to do. Last night, I did a little research and I came upon this meringue dress, and I thought the poof part on top of the dress looked really like a meringue. So originally, I was thinking of just kind of forming a rough, like ruffle edges around and then just kind of burn the edges of the fabric. But then given how hard it is to kind of torch the fabric, I was thinking that if there is too much fabric raw edges, it will start fraying. I got this idea of what if I took all these fabric strips and turn it into like fabric tubes so then the raw edges are hidden, and then kind of ruffle them as I sew, but like make them a lot taller and mount them, kind of make them look like ruffles. So then that way it looked like the meringue parts. The one question I have is I have not tried torching the folded edge of the fabric. I only had torched the raw seam, so let's do that now. So here's my lighter. I have tried torching the raw edges and it was very easy, but I don't know about this top part, the folded side, so let's try it. See if it still gives us that burn mark like we wanted. The folded edge was a lot harder to burn than the raw edge. You know what? It actually looked pretty nice. Kind of like a lighter burn mark than the edges, because the edges look a lot more burnt. And this side look a lot more toasty, like marshmallowy. I actually like this. I remade all the fabric tubings so that they are wider, and a chopstick was the best tool I found for turning the tube right side out. To attach the meringue part, I tried temporary gluing and pinning each fold in place, but those methods didn't work great. I ended up folding it as I sew. Now, do you agree this looked like a meringue? Yesterday when I was making this tube of fabric, it was quite difficult to turn the tube right side out, so I figured to save some time and to make it easier on my life. Plus, the crust is very uneven. I thought this would be better, where I just fold it roughly and then kind of like pinch it and sew the crust together. Here's the completed front panel. Do you think it looked like the top of the pie? Whoa, that was so difficult. I underestimate the seam of the pie crust here, and so when I sew it here, there's not enough seam for my sewing machine to grab on some parts. So for next time, I'm thinking of doing the pie crust first, then the meringue, so that I could make sure I have enough seam allowance so that I don't have to hand stitch. I hand stitch a lot of these edges here because my sewing machine couldn't get it. The tester is now done. The front does look like meringue when fluff up, and then when you blowtorch, it gives it that nice little edge. I didn't do it all the way because it took a really long time to just get this brown spot. So I'm gonna save those lighter I have for the final version. Look at the back. Isn't that cute? I was thinking that since I have this little bottom piece that is perfectly half of the circle, why don't I make that into an exterior pocket as well? That would be fun to have. I added the handle towards the back of the bag, and I think it makes the bag a little bit unbalanced because the front, all these parts here, add extra heavy weight to it. What I'm going to do in the next version is use a heavier interfacing in the back, play around with this to see how I could lighten this a little bit because I think it's a little heavy, and probably put the handle towards the front of the bag instead of towards the back of the bag. In addition, I didn't really like the hidden missing pie slice. You can't really tell, and it's a lot of work to just do this, so I might just get rid of it and make the whole front a meringue. I'm also debating, do I really need to burn this or can I just paint it? I mean, I have fabric color pens, so maybe I just color it in and add a nice touch. We'll see what happens. But I really like the looks of the burn marks on it. Oh, and let me show you one more thing. So this is my first time making something like this, like a circle bag. And I have never done a circle bag before. And if you look inside, there was supposed to be a pocket here. It's right here. And it's upside down. I installed the slip pocket upside down. It's supposed to be towards the back of the bag and facing up so you could fit things in, right? But unfortunately, it's towards the top of the bag and it's upside down, so it's useless. And another thing that really bugs me, I'm a right-handed person, so I like my zipper to close on this side, and then when I pull it this way, it's open. I kind of install it backwards. Otherwise, proof of concept? Check. Final versions of this bag will be released as part of the project video, which will be released before this vlog. If you haven't seen that, check it out. I hope you enjoy watching me design, testing this bag, and make it happen. If you like this type of video, leave me a thumbs up. Otherwise, have fun creating, and until next time, bye!